Hi guys, this is Rajiv from immigration.com, the law offices of Rajiv as Khanna PC. Uh, as time has gone by since the approval of the H-4 EAD regulation, some of the more common questions that have been asked of me at various places, including my Twitter account, on our website, on our LinkedIn page, Facebook, various sources, including tomorrow's community conference. Most of you know that we have a free community conference every other Thursday, and people log in from all over. So, and we try to answer people's questions. I've collected all these sources and I'm trying to address some of the issues that were raised for the H-4 EAD. This is what we know as of today. One of the questions was, how much will our firm charge for doing H-4 EADs? It's a very difficult call. The problem is we don't know to what extent USCIS will question the status of the underlying H-1 holder. Status is a very tricky issue. In H-1, you can lose status because you are not approved for the geographical location where you are working, or your client has changed, or your job has changed, job description. So things like that can put you out of status without you even knowing. And if we file an H-4 EAD and USCIS comes back with a 10-page inquiry about your status, we could be stuck in a battle with them forever and ever and ever. On the other hand, USCIS could approve these cases for H-4 EAD routinely without getting too much into the background, which is what I expect they will do, but there's no way for us to know. So we struggle with this a lot. What I'm telling people is that we have a figure in mind, but you may want to file the H-4 EAD yourself, and if there's a problem, then come to us or to other lawyers. That way we can assess what kind of information the government is looking for. But if you don't mind paying the extra money that we are kind of putting towards the insurance in case we get asked questions, feel free to contact us. We'll be happy to tell you. I think our office said something like $1,600, and I personally think it's a lot of money, but it is not a lot of money if we get stuck in a status battle. It's actually not enough money then. So we kind of stuck a middle path. But I still think you guys should think about filing it yourself and get a lawyer only if it becomes problematic or they send an RFE, which is comprehensive. On my Twitter site, somebody had left a question, should I go for H-4 visa stamping or apply for change of status? And I said, look, there are pros and cons. On the one hand, visa stamping could be quicker, but it could also be very dilatory. Sometimes consulates treat H-4 applications as a hostage while they evaluate the underlying H-1. I have seen cases where they have asked for information like, is the H-1 maintaining status? Give us copies of the payroll of the employer. It just becomes problematic. So all things told, I would probably go for change of status. But this is just a personal call, simply because I'm concerned. I don't want to be detained by the consulate during H-4. But it's really a personal preference, okay? Then let's see, this is our homepage. On the conference call for tomorrow, there were some questions. Oh no, I messed that up. Okay. The first page had some bunch of questions. I had marked them and then I closed the page. It had a bunch of questions. I'll just tell you, I made few notes, so I might be able to just tell you. One question was, if my I-140 is approved to an earlier employer, can I file for my wife's H-4 EAD? And the answer is yes. USCIS has said as long as there is an unrevoked I-140, it doesn't matter which employer it was approved through. We consider your spouse to be eligible for an H-4 EAD. Another question was about advanced parole, and that was an interesting question. So if I have an H-4 EAD And I also want to apply for advanced parole because I have a 485 pending also. Can I apply for it? And the answer is sure. I don't see why not. The H-4 EAD rule is not taking away any existing rights or benefits. It's giving you more. So if you have the benefit available of getting an advanced parole, you will still have that available if you get an H-4 EAD. One question somebody was asking about the mailing address. Right now it is too early. Wait until the May 26th deadline draws closer. Just follow the instructions on USCIS website. Even if they later change their mind, the mailing address that they've already given out cannot be held against you. So my advice would be don't make plans of mailing right now. Wait until we know for sure what the mailing addresses, etc., are going to be, because they are expecting a huge bunch of applications. Then another question was, I think I mistook the order of the question. Another question was about whether I should get H-1B or EAD. So if I have a choice, or if I'm already on H-1B and my spouse has an I-140 approved, should I go to EAD? And there are, again, pros and cons. One thing I like about having your own H-1 is that you are not dependent upon your spouse's status. So if tomorrow something goes wrong with their job, you have your own H-1 that you can rely upon. Then on the other hand, I like the fact that if you have an H-4 EAD, you have open market employment. You can do whatever you like with the EAD. You can work, not work. You can work for 10 employers. You can work for your own company. And working for your own company also has a little bit of an issue that you should worry about, which is, let's say you have an H-4 EAD and you started your own company. What if your EAD lapses and the new EAD is not in hand? And I mentioned this before. I think that will make you unavailable to work. How will your business go on? Best thing is to do it in partnership with somebody who is either a green card holder, US citizen, or somebody who has a perpetual work authorization. So that way, even if there's a lapse in your EAD, you can your business doesn't suffer. So keep that in mind also. This is our LinkedIn page where we are trying to keep track of all the information. There are comments here also, but I think I have them covered already. This is some of the comments from my blog. By the way, if you want to find all this information, where my blog is, everything, just go to immigration.com. And there are links to my blog up there, all our social media on the top right. My Twitter feed is right here on the right-hand side. So you can basically, and my blog link is also here. So you can basically find all the information that you need to. For the conference calls, we always have it posted up top. Mobile apps, community calls, it tells you how we do these calls, where you have to go. So that said, let me get back to the question that was being asked, or actually the series of questions that were being asked. Mailing address, visa, and change of status. Apply for H-4 now and EAD later. I don't see any problem with that. I think it's okay to apply for an H-4 change of status now if that's what you want to do, and you can apply for an EAD later. Just keep in mind, we don't know how long they will take to give you the EAD. Okay, and USCIS has also said if you file an EAD and H-4 change of status together, we will try to adjudicate both together, but not necessarily. Okay, so there's a bunch of questions and answers I already have on this. You can look at the blog and see if I've missed something. I did make a list of things, and I think I'm covering it all. Let's see. H-4, I can't read my own handwriting sometimes. Apply for H-4 now and EAD later. Okay, I got that. Apply for H-1B and EAD together. I got that. Oh, H-1B and EAD together. This was a very interesting question. And I think this was from our community conference call for tomorrow. I'm going to talk. Oh, no, it's right here, actually. Um, she was saying, this guest was saying that what I want to apply for H1 right now, and I also want to apply for H4 EAD eventually. How does this work? Well, first of all, there is no law that says you can't do both together. But if the H1 change of status is approved, you will not be entitled to your H4 EAD because you will now be in H1 status. Okay, USCIS will not reject your H4 EAD because you applied for H1. However, if whichever kicks in later would be your status. So let's say you get your H4 EAD approved in August, but in October, on October 1st, your H1 kicks in. Unless you revoke your H1 or withdraw your H1, you will no longer have H4 EAD because on October 1st, you will be on H1. So the application for both is not precluded, but you will be able to maintain only one status. There's some control you have over which one you want to maintain. Okay, so then the next issue was, can I continue working while um, I am on H4, I'm on H1 and I've applied for H4 EAD. This was also on my blog, right here from Juni Sarkar. And Junie wanted to know, so I'm on H1B on a cap exempt employer. If I apply for H4 EAD along with the H4, can I continue working? And the answer is of course. As long as your H1 is valid and you're not changed to H4, you can continue working. And once your H4 EAD comes, then you can start working on your H4 EAD. And the last question was from Praveen. Praveenji and I had been actually, I'd forgotten, we'd been in touch even on LinkedIn, and we'd had our discussion. But his question was, I've got no I-140, but 7th year of H1 approval. Can my spouse qualify? And the answer is sure, because spouse can qualify for EAD based upon either I-140 or based upon H1 7th year approval. Okay, so I think I've covered all the nuances that have come up since the announcement. We'll keep you all updated both on our, I think the best thing is to just follow me on my Twitter account because I update that quite frequently. But of course, my blog as well as LinkedIn pages. Out of these blogs are usually kept more recent. So, follow anywhere that you like, and whatever I can tell you, I'll be happy to. And do log into our community conference calls if you want to discuss something. Thank you all. I'll talk to you folks later. Bye-bye.
Every other Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host free community conference calls. Everybody is welcome to join. Some people post questions ahead of time. You can take membership in our forums. All of the details are there on our website, immigration.com. You can take membership ahead of time, and it's instantaneous. It happens right away. And post your questions beforehand, or you can just log in. The phone number and all are provided: 202-800-8394, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, every other Thursday. We have free apps for both Apple iOS platform for your iPhones and iPads, as well as for Android. Just look for immigration.com, the period dot, and the application should show up.